Hi all, Kyber1 here with Game Master Concepts number 9, Skills. There are 3 prominent types of skill systems. Non-existent. Well, hold on, there's 4. There's non-existent like Numenera and Cypher. Players just write whatever comes into their little heads. Maybe big heads. Some players have egos. And they think they should be able to utilize this skill for X, Y, or Z. And Unity kind of falls into this category as well. Then you have the ultimate guide of everything skill chart, which is Rifts and GURPS. Narrowing down the skills you're actually going to use from like hundreds of pages of source materials and different adventures, even settings. Wow, no, don't do it. And then another skill system you have is Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Thief skill system. And then you have to memorize what skills you have and what associated dice you need to roll, and whether it's a high or low style roll. Second edition AD&D makes this very difficult with its proficiency system because, once again, you're referencing charts too much. You're not actually playing the game anymore at a certain point. So, what sort of system do you actually need to make your game work for you? Okay, now, in a one-shot, this wouldn't be such a bad idea. In fact, I wouldn't even worry about it in a one-shot. Players that aren't set up for success in a one-shot, and communicate with them about what sort of adventure it is. At least give them a brief one-sentence description. Well, you're in a haunted mansion, or you believe it's a haunted mansion. And then players will, okay, these are the skills I'll probably need, narrowing down. However, if you're building a campaign or a campaign world, narrow down the sort of adventures you want to run. And basically, at a bare bones level, name a few skills, as few as possible. For instance, if you want stealth to be a skill, list stealth. Anything involving stealth uses the stealth skill. If you don't want to be seen doing something because it's illegal, or you might get caught and punished, then that would be stealth. If you want to do something athletically that isn't directly tied to an attribute, like you want to hold your breath, that's what athletic swimmers do. If you want to balance across a tightrope, that's what an acrobat would do. So, and acrobats and athletics, I would merge into the athletics. I mean, to separate those two, it's ridiculous. And I might make it constitution based, like if you're using Dungeons and Dragons, and the real reason for that is your core body. You don't see frail athletes that much, right? They have some sort of build to them that enables them to do what they're doing. Survival is an excellent skill in most cases. What can you do with survival? Okay, think about it. If you're a caveman, you're hunting and gathering, right? How do you hunt? Think about all the things you need to do in hunting and gathering, and those are the type of skills. Knowing that this berry is poisonous might be a thing you found out the hard way years back, and that's why your hunting and your survival skill is so high. Maybe you're tracking something. That's a survival check. Maybe you need to craft a primitive weapon. That's a survival check. So, build your skill system for the type of adventures you want to do based off common sense. I can't tell you how frustrating it is that I got a copy of Dungeon Fantasy and they're trying to tell me that I specifically need these skills to build this type of character. That's your version of a character, Steve Jackson. I mean, I might not want to do that in my game. And it's great that you have an archetype, but sometimes it's overly specific. And that can ruin an experience because when you have overly specific skills, I would say 60% of them don't get used. And that may not be per character, but I mean, if you're building a barbarian and here's a cleric, your game master is going to pan kind of towards one or the other. Like, and then where they kind of meet is like this druid character. And if everything's focused on one set of skills, it's going to be player focused in one direction, which might limit the other players. Building a skill system is not a simple feature. It's not a simple task, and it's not readily available to most people. If you want a skill system, it's got to be custom. It's got to be from the ground up. And part of the problem with skill systems, especially in like Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition, is where you have knowledge, history, your country, and you're not even in your country. And I think everybody should start off with some basic knowledge about where they come from. It should be common sense, right? Like, if you're an adult in the Middle Ages and you serve a knight, you know their family crest. I mean, and then you can recognize maybe a few other family crests, and you probably know your nation's flag. Like, you probably know if you're at war with another country, or the fact that you are in another land based on the flags that are flying. You probably know these things. So, I mean, having specific knowledge sections is the most damaging thing you can do to your players, because it's like, have you checked out Knowledge Common Sense? No. Knowledge Common Sense isn't a skill, buddy. Like, if your players can't fulfill the role of the character, then your players aren't going to be able to roleplay well. Alright, remember, create your own skills. Do not reference a million pages of stuff to get skill ideas. Now, it would be cool, though, to read through the list of skill options in games like GURPS or Rifts, and then create little mini tasks. Do not utilize those skills as written, kind of. If you need to repair the radio so you can repair the radio, electronics, boom, solved. Or repair electronics, or communications. Like, even communications might be a little OP compared to electronics, because, yeah. Alright, so carving one out. Enjoy making a skill system. Don't let it weigh you down. do the simple thing, make everything common sense based. All right, everyone out.